Hey everybody, Todd here, and welcome back to another Wellness Talks Briefs. Now I'm going to be walking today through a concept which comes up in session often that people sometimes have a hard time wrapping their head around, and that is understanding what is the self as context even mean. Well, simplest answer to that is it is the observing mind or the witnessing mind. And yet even those words, those concepts are sometimes difficult for people to grasp or to understand. And what the self as context or the observing mind really is all about is that continuity. Oftentimes because we've had this observing mind from the moment we were conceived, it seems as if there's been an uninterrupted flow of what my identity is and who I am. And I think this following metaphor of the prince and the beggar will help you to get a better understanding of what we mean when we talk about the self as context, the observing mind, or the witness. So I'm sure that you can think of in your mind you could draw up what a beggar might look like, where they might live, and I'm sure you can also bring to mind what a prince or a princess would look like and what they might wear and where they might live, and the different attitudes that would go with both of these two. And then imagine that they meet each other. So the prince meets a beggar and they are identical. They look exactly the same. And they get this crazy idea, this brilliant idea of let's exchange our clothes and go about the day to just see what it would be like to be this other person. So the prince puts on the beggar's clothes, the beggar puts on the prince's clothes, and they go about the day. So the prince puts on the torn, ragged, worn out clothing and walks throughout the city, and is shoved and ignored and treated just like a beggar. And the beggar, of course, wearing the new royal clothing, is treated like the prince would normally be treated, with respect and with courtesy. Now, the beggar is very grateful, appreciative of the nice clothes that he has on and the access to the amount of wealth and good food that he has and warmth, a hearth. And at every opportunity, he does what he can to share what he's been given with everybody around him, especially the beggars. Whereas the prince has a real tough time of it, is upset that he's not getting the attention that he deserves, and even goes so far as to take a loaf of bread from a small child because he feels he's entitled to do so. Not only this, but he talks down to the other beggars, and he doesn't want to even be anywhere near them or eat with them or converse with them. So while the prince and the beggar have changed clothing, and they are treated differently by all of those that they interact with, the person each truly is has remained unchanged. What's so interesting and good about the story is that it does give you a little bit different perspective to play around with the self as context, the observing mind. And I think the easiest, most simplest way to think about this is that the sense of the self remains stable even through changing situations and circumstances. There's an aspect of you, there's a component of you that remains constant and stable, that inner creativity, that childlike curiosity, the awe or the studiousness or the determination or the enthusiasm remains consistent over time and no matter where you go. And so when we talk about self as context, what we're really trying to get you to see is that we don't have to form a new identity every so many years or form a new identity in the face of a challenge. It's that if we take a little bit of time, get present and be in this moment and notice certain qualities of ourself, those qualities, those components, that real you, that witnessing self, transcends the definition of who and what we say we are. I hope that you've found this to be useful. If you have, please be sure to click the like button below. And of course, as always, if you'd like, you can subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll get notified when I put out new content. And until the next time, may you be well.